Hello, everyone, and welcome in. Today is Friday, February 9th, and today is going to be a little bit of a longer reading per grouping because this new moon in Aquarius. So there's going to be a little bit more focus on that and a little bit longer time frame. So the new moon in Aquarius starts today, and then the full moon, kind of closing out that cycle, is on August 19th. So we've talked about Pluto moving into Aquarius, and that's kind of looking at making big positive changes in your life. That happened earlier in January, and it had been in Capricorn for 15 years, and now it's moving into Aquarius. So last time when Pluto moved into Aquarius, that was the time of like the French Revolution and the Irish Uprising. So big, massive changes. So with it, for you personally, with Pluto moving into Aquarius, it's kind of that ability now to be able to focus on making long-term positive changes in your life. And we did have a couple of other, let's see, on the 5th, Mercury went into Aquarius, and then on the 13th, Mars is going into Aquarius. So there's a lot of different changes. It's all about this kind of creative thinking outside of the box. So recently you might have been having some sudden insights, but this new moon, so this cycle here, this new moon in Aquarius, is about starting to make some positive changes in your life, like some kind of long-term positive changes in your life, and getting excited about starting to make those changes. So those changes will be unfolding over the course of this moon cycle. So I wanted to take a look at some of that energy. And we'll kind of follow the same format. I'll just go a little bit deeper into each of the groupings. So we'll start out with the overall energy of the collective and then move into the individual energies. So as take only what resonates with you. If this seems like it's matching up with your story, then there's a message here for you. If not, don't try to force whatever is coming through onto your scenario, but hopefully there's messages that you can take either way. And in the description box below will be the timestamps where when you click on them, it'll take you to that section of the video. But let's go ahead and start out with the overall readings. And also, I usually end up doing this at the end of the video, but if you've already watched your grouping, then you don't necessarily hear this. But there will be some other videos posting this week as well. Some of the, is this your person? Pick a pile. I'm also going to be doing the readings for the second half of the month, so make sure you hit the like and subscribe and notification bell if you want to be alerted as to when those videos post. All right, overall energy for the collective for today. We have our Knight of Cups, we have our Queen of Pentacles, and we have our Six of Cups. All right, this is the first time so far this week that we have not had the Four of Pentacles in reverse. So if you'd been noticing in the daily post when it's like, oh my gosh, this energy is still lingering, I went back and checked, and it was every single day this week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the Four of Pentacles in reverse was coming up in the overall energy. So good to see that seems to have cleared out a little bit. So now the energy that we're sitting in, we have our Knight of Cups energy, and that's that, kind of working on negotiating things. We do have our Queen of Pentacles energy, and that's on kind of enjoying the finer things like the luxury and comfort. So, she's enjoying her best life there. And then we have our Six of Cups, which is also about comfort, but it has a sense of nostalgia too. So overall, that's kind of the energy. I would say it's definitely a higher vibe energy than what it has been through the week. So it seems like leading up to this point, it's been kind of some tense, heavier energies with feeling like you're in a bad place and how do we get out of it? And this is more, this comfortable energy. And some of it has a sense of nostalgia, like you're comfortable. Maybe you are living a little bit in the past, but using that energy to try to negotiate a better future for yourself. And rather than feeling stuck and burned out in the moment, it's that sense of, hey, I remember what it was like to have that feeling of life is good, and how do I get myself back into that energy? So that's kind of the way that is reading. So let's start out the reading with our air signs, and we'll dig in and see what all messages are coming through, since there's this overall energy of get ready to make some big changes in your life. So let's see what some of those might be about. The Fool. And actually this came out yesterday as well for air signs. The Fool. Beginning of a new journey. So this sense of looking back on the past and saying, hey, what were the good things? What is it that I liked about the past? Like I said, the week leading up to this, it seems like the energy's been this heavier, kind of stagnant energy, just lingering there. And now it's more of that smiling and looking back at the past. Okay, so if these were the things that I liked, what was different about my life? How can I negotiate that and move into a better space? And you are getting that new beginning coming through. So this Aquarius moon cycle is going to be bringing you some new beginnings, whether that's a fresh outlook on something. So new beginnings doesn't always mean, oh, you're getting a new job, a new house, a new partner, whatever. It can also mean new attitude, new approach to things. So if you were feeling all whatever about, maybe it was a friendship that's been causing you a lot of problems, or a problem with a family member, sometimes it's just a new attitude and, hey, new perspective. This is going to be better going forward, and you kind of get that fresh start. A new start is coming. So really for our air signs, something new is coming. Something good coming down the pipes for you. And a lot of it is that mindset and that attitude. So when people talk about law of attraction and it's, it's interesting because kind of the whole thing of, oh, and you can manifest $1 million and some of these weird things you see on Facebook about, here's how I manifested a 6-figure job in a short period of time, and some of that sort of thing. It's not about, I'm going to sit here on the couch all day and say, I'm manifesting $1 million. It's going to come in. It's going to come in. It's not like, hey, I can focus 10 minutes of my attention every day on bringing in this $1 million, and then the other 11 hours and 50 minutes of the day, I'm telling the universe how much my life sucks. Like, that's not the way it works. Ooh, this card flipped here. Really and truly, you need to be in that higher vibration, and getting that new start starts with you changing your vibration. And some of that, then it becomes about the fact that you're living in that high vibration energy, and your focus shifts. It's not like, here, if I can just tell myself I'm happy, I'll get $1 million. It's you truly are living in this sense of happiness and peace. So whether the $1 million comes in or not is like, but I'm happy. I'm happy. So that's that new start. So some of it, like living in that new start energy. And so the pulled card here the jumper card was this Pleiades card. And it says double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. And then the pulled card is trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? And, this energy, these two cards really just look like they're going together. This new start of how do you uplift people around you? How do you live your life? And a lot of people that watch tarot readings regularly, or that follow the channel, are people that they're healers, they're light workers, they're empaths, and so those are people that, whether you specifically have a coaching or counseling or that type of healing occupation, just your energy and how you interact with other people can be so uplifting, and finding how do you tap into that? How do you have that new start where you are able to live in that happier energy and be able to help lift people around you? All right, Ascended Master, truth, self-worth, and up-leveling. So this is going along with that new start, turning over that new leaf of, you know what, I don't want to be in this dense, heavy energy where it's like all angsty and everything. It's no, I'm living I'm living my life in peace and happiness. So, remembering what about the past from a nostalgia standpoint, what about the past made you happy, and how can you sit and live in that energy? And that's it's beautiful once you can get yourself to that. And sometimes it's a matter of all of a sudden it just happens. So listen to that uplifting or inspiring music. Go for walks out in nature and find that true connection to source and divine, to God, Mother Nature, whatever resonates with you. But that's going to help fuel this new start. And I think this is going to be a really great beginning here for air signs. All right, now we are on to our fire signs. That is our Aries, Leo, Sag. Let's see for the new moon in Aquarius, what energy is coming through for you? The Chariot. So this is that fast moving energy. And since this whole week has been that, it's definitely been that sense of things have been stagnating. And now with this new moon coming in, that's that fresh start. Oops. All right, that was like 8 cards that just flipped. So not using those as jumper cards. But this is that fresh start of making these positive changes for your life. Like what are some of these big positive changes that are going to help you go, move up into your next timeline. Closing out old heavy things, starting this new happy energy. All right. Well, I pulled 2, so I'll use both. Conclusions are within reach and expect powerful change. So this is new moon eclipse and this is full moon eclipse. So it's kind of funny. And actually we have that eclipse coming up, that big one. Oh, what is it? It's like April 8th, I think. It's a Monday. So you have both of these cards are eclipse. It's new moon eclipse, full moon eclipse. And there's some big changes I remember from the weekend reading from this past weekend. And there was a lot of that new start. Like I think this card came up because for the fire signs energy, remember for the overall collective, it was like the Tower in reverse, and the sense of trying to keep this tower from falling. And for our fire signs, we did have the actual tower then come up. That was the energy that was wanting to come through over the weekend. The tower let it fall, and then 3 of the 5 cards that I pulled after that, it was about new beginnings. So I think those new beginnings are starting to come in quickly. There's going to be some good positive energy in that direction. Last year at the end of the year, there was a lot, the second half of the year, so many retrogrades, so much of that deep healing work that I think it's kind of that fresh, all right, you did a lot of the work, now let's do something with this. So expect that powerful change. The conclusions are within reach. So whatever it was that was kind of keeping you feeling stuck or keeping you doing something you didn't want to be doing, that's almost done. The conclusions are within reach. So within this, this cycle, like I said, new moon starts today, full moon is August 19th. So your, conclusions to these older timelines, they're going to be closing out, and expect powerful new jumps in your timeline. All right. Then we have share your voice, come out of the cave, persecution and expression. So if you've been feeling like you've been locked in this cave, like you've been trapped and you just can't get out, that's the energy that's shifting now. So expect a powerful change. Like look at the colors in there. There's a powerful change as it pertains to sharing your voice. And and I like it too when you look at you have this ring here around the moon. So you have that light ring coming out behind it. You have the Enterprise. You have kind of the light ring coming out from behind the Enterprise. And then you have this circle shape of the cave. So coming out of the cave, coming out of that fog of, oh my gosh, I've been doing the same whatever for so long. No, I'm done. I'm making changes. I'm making positive changes. I'm excitedly making changes for my future. Yeah, they might be thinking outside of the box, a little bit of unconventional, expressive, creative type of thinking, but it's forward moving thinking. It's not living in the past. It's remembering the good things in the past and how can I get myself there? How can I get myself into a more comfortable place going forwards? Golden flower of life and palladium, inner child connection, illumination, and simplicity. So inner child work, and that's definitely something to work on as well, is meditation and inner child work. What is it from your childhood that has kept you looping in those cycles? What is it that you need to break free of to be able to move on into, and it had illumination, so into a more illuminated, enlightened perspective and simplifying your life. You know, kind of the whole thing of, if the truth and your happiness vibrate and resonate differently in your body, listen to that. Don't keep forcing yourself to do things that don't feel good. All right, now we are on to our earth signs. That is our Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. The Magician, and this is about transforming lead into gold. So transforming your situation, like I've mentioned in all of these, there was that very heavy kind of energy, heavy stuck energy all this week leading up to today. And it was that sense of overspending, overexerting yourself. And now that Magician energy is, okay, how do I transform this? I don't want to just keep doing the same thing. How do I transform it? So it's about major life transformations. The Jumper card in here was a time to give rather than take. Now this, balancing it out with the energy of overgiving, overexerting, you know, however you find that balance. Like if you want to sit in this comfortable position, give lovingly to the situation to say, okay, how do we just wrap this all out? Like if you've made that decision that, okay, I've sunk a lot of time, energy, effort, money into whatever situation. How do I now transform my life? How do I give lovingly to be able to move into the next timeline? And then hold your vision. So it's a matter of, sometimes, especially with this nostalgia card, looking at the situation and saying, what is it that I really wanted for my life? How far off track have I gotten? And was it that what I wanted for my life really wasn't feasible or achievable? Or is it just the whole thing of, you know, when you're just 1 degree off your path, you don't notice it right away until you look back and years later you're like, oh my gosh, look how far I've gotten. So whatever that vision is for yourself, hold on to that and be true to that. You know, and actually I'm gonna pull up another couple of clarifying cards, because since the energy had been like, hey, we're over giving, when it says a time to give rather than receive, let's see if there's any other clarifying messages there, because that kind of seems to go against the other stuff that we've been seeing. So I'll pull 2 cards here. 6 of Wands and Page of Pentacles. So 6 of Wands is that kind of card of victory and praise. Then our Page of Pentacles is about consistency. So some of it's just having that, I guess, that consistent energy in your life, and not this back and forth, because that will be draining. So I don't know if that helped clarify for you. Sisterhood of the Rose, beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, and teacher. So kind of pulling that focus back into you. And what is it that you're here to do? You know, have you been getting caught up in 3D matrix stuff and really trying to remember who you are and transform your life to get to that vision of who you really are at your core? All right. Tuning the heart, boundaries, insight, and pure potential. So these two, this mystic and teacher and love, you know, looking at how do you tap into that to be able to handle your outside situation, how to be able to handle your 3D life and transform those struggles into something more high vibration, and how can you learn those lessons and share those lessons with people around you to be able to help them. All right, let's take a look at our water signs. Yeah, it seems like with the earth signs, it was more of a confusing, like mishmash, like it came through as like a hodgepodge, like maybe there's some uncertainty there, or like just energetically not really knowing where you're going, kind of like a lack of direction maybe. And so that's the way that it was playing through for me, because as I'm reading this and intuitively being drawn, and here's the storyline, it was very there wasn't a very clear storyline, so it comes through as like a lot of sense of confusion of not really knowing where you're going for our earth signs. So I think it's a matter of spending some time focusing on connecting with what is your higher purpose, and just taking a break from everything to be able to reconnect. So check back in, you know, in terms of the readings for the second half of the month, and maybe, you know, next week when I do those readings, there'll be a little bit clearer of energy. All right. And water signs. Justice. So the Justice card. So you are finding that balance. Like I've been saying, the week leading up to this has been a lot of that sense of feeling like you're just overexerting yourself, overgiving, and almost that sense of burnout. So that justice is coming. And especially, you know, when we were talking about like our Queen of Pentacles energy and that kind of comfort and luxury, that comes on the heels of justice coming in to kind of rebalance that situation for you. A fiery climax approaches, full moon in Aries. So that fiery climax is rebalancing the scales for you to bring in that justice that you've had oh my gosh, jumping cards, the crumbling. So, you know, you have been giving and giving, and that's kind of coming to an end. That fiery climax, that feeling of being drained is coming to an end. And the jumper card here was the crumbling. What are you clinging to? And so this is, in this Lightworkers deck, this is the equivalent of the tower. So, I mean, it almost kind of looks like a tower, but things are starting to crumble. You can see the lightning around the sides of it, just like in the regular tower card. The tower is being struck by lightning, and people are jumping off the building and all of that. So that's going to come in and level things for you. And then your guidance is divinely guided, Akasha. And again, this is that reminder that that's not a bad thing. Sometimes we get stuck in a rut and we get stuck in our own monologue's not the right word, our own narrative. We get stuck in our own narrative and it's hard to break out of it. So sometimes the universe gives an extra nudge in the way of saying, hey, here's a tower moment. But it will balance, you know, there is going to be a balancing of the energies for you. All right. Halite, mineral salt, easing grief, loss, and sadness. So if this does, you know, this fiery climax, if it's coming in the form of a tower, sorry, there's a lot of glare coming off there. If it's coming in the form of a tower, know that ultimately this is going to be easing your grief. It's going to be bringing in that new, fresh beginning, that more healed space for you. So even if justice is coming in the form of what feels like a tower, feels like something is crumbling and falling away from your life, know that that's bringing in that peace, that calm, that good balanced energy for you. So I hope today's message has been helpful for you. And as always, take only what resonates and leave the rest behind. So if you want to be alerted as to when the new videos are posting, like I mentioned, there will be the videos for the second half of February and some other ones. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell. And otherwise, I wish you peace along your journey. Until next time.